Hi and welcome to Vintage Doll Collector. I have a couple little celluloid dolls here that need restringing, so I thought I would make a video and show you how I do it. It's a little bit different from how hard plastic or composition dolls are strung, but it's not that difficult to do, so let's get started. To restring a celluloid doll, you just need a few simple supplies. This is elastic cord, which you can buy online for restringing dolls. It's made in different sizes, but this is a small size, probably about 1/8 of an inch for doing small dolls. And a pair of hemostats. These ones happen to have a curved end, but the straight ones work just as well. A small pair of scissors, a pair of tweezers, and some tape. Scotch tape works fine, but I just happen to have packing tape laying around, so that's what I'm going to use. So we'll start with my little made in Japan cowboy doll. The first thing we need to do is take the hemostats. These are probably a little too huge. I should have picked a smaller pair. Take the hemostats and clip them so that when I cut the cord, it won't accidentally pull out and get lost here. Now I'm going to snip the end right next to the arm. Okay, I've cut a piece of the elastic cord about 8-10 inches long. That is way more than I need, but that way I have plenty to work with. Now I'm going to cut a small piece of tape. Just need a little bit. Rest of this out of the way. I'm going to put the tape on the piece of cord, unless it wants to stick to me, not to the cord. Cut it a little bit smaller. And the other end is going to go on the old cord that's still in the doll. I'm going to butt them end to end and wrap around, and then I'm going to cut it trim it very close to the cord so that I don't have a big hunk of tape sticking out. I just have enough holding the two pieces of cord together. And this makes it so much easier than trying to thread the elastic cord through another way. But you do have to be careful. There we go. We're through one hole. Whoops, the other hole's a little bit smaller. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go. See, now I've pulled the new cord through both ends. And I can just clip that off. So we don't need the tape anymore. And we don't need the old string anymore. Now, when I cut the old cord off, the knot that was holding it in place is still inside the doll's arm. You don't need to worry about that. It can stay in there. What I'm going to do is take my tweezers and push that down in there. And it's okay. It won't do any harm to just stay in there forever. But now you can see I've got a hole in the end of that arm. And I need to make another knot. But first, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take my hemostats again and clip onto the cord. Now, I have learned from doing this the hard way that you think you're not going to pull it through, and you do. So what I'm going to do now with the end, that whole piece out of the way, what I'm going to do now with the end is just tie a little overhand knot in it. So just make a loop, stick the end through, and pull it tight. You want to make it tight. If your knot is not big enough, if you put it in the end of the arm and it pulls back out again, just make another knot on top of it. So I'm going to trim the end off here so I don't have too much of a tail. So you see I've just got a knot with a little end on there. Now I'm going to take my tweezers, try to get a good grip on my knot here, and get it into, first I'm going to stick the tail in the hole, and then work that in there. Okay. Now it may be that knot is not quite big enough. It looks like it's going to pull out again. Yeah, it is going to pull out again. Okay. Let me have a little bit more to work with here. I'm going to move my hemostats down a bit. I cut that a little too close, so I'm going to snip that off. Make another knot. Pull it tight. And this time I'm going to go over again and just make another overhand knot right in the same spot. Now, hopefully this isn't going to be too big, but we'll find out. Again, I'll trim the end, take my tweezers, get the tail in the hole, and then carefully work that knot into the hole. There it is. Okay, now that's not coming out this time. So we've got one side done. Now we're going to pull that. Just take the hemostats off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it tight. Not so tight that it's going to break. Remember, these are delicate. But I'm going to pull it snug. And I'm going to put the hemostat on there, holding it tight. So that gives me a little bit of room to work with. Now, I think I'm going to trim some of this off because I got way too much here. Pull that excess off. I'm going to try to make my knot fairly close to the body. Oh, wait a minute, let me look at the other arm first. And see. Now the hole in this arm is smaller than the one that was in the other arm, so I think I can get away with just making a single knot rather than a double. So make my my single knot, excuse me. As close as I can while still giving me a little room to maneuver here. I'm going to trim the excess, take my tweezers, my tail in the hole there. Yeah, this is definitely a smaller hole. Now I'm going to work my knot into the hole carefully. It is possible to break a doll doing this, so you've got to be very careful. Probably practice with a doll you don't care too much about first, before you do your most treasured celluloid doll. Oh, there we go. He's in the hole. Okay, and that's snug. It's not going to pull out again. Now I take my hemostats off, and there he is, all nicely restrung. It's not really tight, but his arms are next to the body. You don't want the stringing to be too tight, because if you're putting pressure on this is kind of a fragile material and could cause it to crack or dent. So he's pretty good. I like him. Looks much better with his arms back in place. Okay, now we're going to move on to the baby. So here's the baby, and I'm going to show you a slightly different method this time. We're not going to use the tape because the holes are pretty big. So we're just going to This is a more difficult method in some ways, but it's easier in other ways. Just a different way to do it. Okay, so we're trimming off. So you see on the baby, the arms are strung across this way and the legs are strung across this way. So I'm going to restring him exactly the way he was. On some dolls, it works out better to restring this arm to this leg and this arm to this leg. It all depends on how the arms and legs are positioned. Sometimes if you're stringing the legs straight across like that, if the angle that they're at is not right, you can end up with legs splayed out like this, which is no good. So it depends on the doll, but I think with this doll I can see if I pull it straight across, his leg is right up snug to his body, and the same one in this way, so I should be able to just go across this way. So now I'm going to trim that, and I'm going to poke my old knots in. One leg. I'll trim the extra here. It's okay to have that in there, but no need to have too much in there. Okay, that fell right in. That arm is okay. And I'm going to trim this one. Oops. Okay. So now, see, I've got this leftover piece of string from the cowboy, so I might as well use this. I'm going to tie a knot, same way I did on the other one. Pull it tight. And the holes are fairly small in the arms, so I'm going to try it with just a single knot, and then if it doesn't work, I'll do the double like I did before. So trim the end off. Take my tweezers. The celluloid material is just a little bit flexible, which is what allows you to get it in there and have it stay. I'm going to work it very carefully into the hole. There we go. Is it in? Almost. Okay, now it's in. And that's not going to pull out, so that's good. So what I'm going to do, because this is a fairly small doll, but it's got pretty big holes, I'm just going to try, make sure I'm putting it on the right side. Yeah, this, the left arm and the left side. I'm going to try just seeing if I can eyeball it and push it straight through across. And I did. Oh, that doesn't always work the first time. Okay, so I've got one arm through. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the cowboy. I'm going to put my little hemostats on, pull it snug and put the hemostats on, so that's not moving and that's not going to pull out. Now I'm going to cut a little excess off here and try to tie my knot as close to the, whoops, get over so you can see what I'm doing. Try to tie my knot, okay, as close to the body as I can. Pull it snug. Trim the tail. Got my right arm here. Whoops, excuse me, that's the left arm. Okay, I've got my tail in the hole. Now I'm going to use my tweezers to work that knot in there. Doesn't want to go. Oh, it's in. Okay, now is it going to stay? Yes, it's going to stay. Okay. Take my hemostats off. And we got nice strung arms. Awesome. Now we'll do the same thing we just did with the legs. I think I need another piece here. About 6 inches long. tie a knot. Tail in the hole, and well, this hole is kind of tiny, so I'm going to pull that as tight as I can. Try and make the knot a little smaller. All right, let's try that again. Tail in the hole. And in. Oh, but it looks like it's going to come out again. Well, I think I made the hole a little bigger with my tweezers. Well, it seems to be okay. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing and try to just see if we can poke this through. Alright, where's the other hole? I can see. Make sure I got I'm doing the right, okay. If you can see through the hole there, but I can see straight through. Oh, and I did it again. Wow. That and 1,000 here. Okay. Doesn't always work that easy. Just so you know. Just getting lucky today. Alright, I'm pulling it taut. Clipping on my hemostats. Gonna trim off some of the tail. Tie my knot as close to the body as I can while pulling it tight. Trim off the extra. There's my other leg. Thing you can do also is if your hole is really tiny, sometimes you can widen it a little bit. Again, you have to judge by your doll. This celluloid is not particularly brittle on this doll. On some it's very brittle, so if I did that on some dolls it would just break, but I have done this enough times so that I know that there's enough flexibility here to work with. Okay, got my whoops. My tail in the hole. Don't have a lot of room here. Now I'm going to try and, oh, got that in. No, is it coming out? No, it's staying in. Okay, good. Take off the hemostats, and there we have beautiful baby all restrung. So there you have it. If you have any experience doing this yourself, maybe you do it a different way, leave me a comment and let me know. Let me know if you have any tips and tricks on how to do this a little easier or better. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for joining me today, and see you on the next video.